I, 25 female, have a baby shower coming up soon, and I'm debating not inviting my older half-sister, 33. We're not close, and she's always been closer to her two half-sisters, 26 and 23, from her dad. As a kid, she would rub her love for them in my face and be blatant with her preference for them, acting like she didn't know me while with her dad, but running to them and hugging and loving all over them while she was with us. She would skip my birthdays to see a movie with her other sisters. She would agree to take me places for a little money, then would pick up her sisters and ignore me the whole time while hanging with them. When her sister, 26, was bullying me in school and broke a photo of my grandma that I took to school for show and tell the week after she died, my sister fought with our mom for getting her sister in trouble. She told me she didn't care about me and she was only making sure her sisters were okay. She skipped my graduation for McDonald's with her other sisters, and she did the same when I got married. She got married and invited me, but had her other two sisters as her bridesmaid and two friends and didn't include me. Her sisters are also called aunts by her kids. I have no title or real relationship with them. After all these years, I'm tired and heartsick being rejected for the other sisters, being treated so differently and having it rubbed in my face. And for my baby shower, I feel like cutting the cord and making a fresh start free from having her hanging over me. My mom tried to pass on my sister's new address for the baby shower invite, and I told her I didn't think I would invite her, which annoyed my mom. It kind of blew up more than I expected. She said things can never get better if I stop including her now, and that she will talk to my sister about behaving better, but I need to invite her. And when I told her I really wanted a fresh start, she told me giving up on family is wrong. Am I the idiot if I don't invite her? Not the idiot. After all the heartless things she's done to you, not only you wouldn't want her at your baby shower, but you shouldn't want her in your life. And whoever guilts you into doing so does it because it would be easier to convince you to put up with her once again than having her change her attitude and be an adult for once. It's your sister's time to make an effort, not yours. Not the idiot. Your sister will never be kinder to you. Your mom is delusional. She'll talk to her 33-year-old daughter and what? Scold her? Guilt her? That train left the station a long time ago. Don't invite your so-called sister. Enjoy your baby shower surrounded by those who genuinely care. And tell your mom to butt out. Not the idiot. You're not giving up on family. She's made it quite clear that she doesn't think of you like family, and you shouldn't have to be the bigger person all the time. I've been in your shoes, not so much the bullying, but my older half-siblings make absolutely no effort to have a relationship with me and my full brother. And we gave up the effort years ago. You need to do what's best for you. Your half-sister is not good for your mental health, and your mom needs to just keep her nose out of this one. Does she have this much animosity towards your dad or just you? This happens all the time. Parent gets remarried, older kid hates new kid and leaves them out of everything. When the younger kid or step half-sibling finally gets fed up, it's all, "Oh no, how could you do this? You're breaking up the family." Whatever the issue with her is, your parents didn't want to deal with it when she was younger. You can say you didn't tell them, but any involved parent would have noticed the disparity and attitude differences. At any rate, not the idiot, but your sister and your parents sure are. I'll preface by saying we live where large gatherings and weddings are allowed. My wife and I are childhood best friends. We're both 23. At the age of 21, she was in a relationship with her ex-boyfriend. They broke up due to distance and time, but it was a rough breakup that she initiated. Now they're friends and sometimes pop by to visit each other. We would even double date with him and his new girlfriend. By all accounts, they seem to be just friends, perfectly platonic and civil. Anyway, we got married last month. My wife's ex and his girlfriend attended. I was totally okay with this. I even invited my ex-girlfriend with whom I have a child. Everything was normal. My wife and I made our rounds at the reception, greeting all the guests. I distinctly remember her ex-boyfriend looking almost sad when we came by. It was weird, the look on his face when he saw her. Immediately it was apparent to me that he still cared for her. But I was reassured that my wife doesn't have feelings for him anymore, and the night continued. Today I got a message on Facebook from a woman who introduced herself as the girlfriend of my wife's ex. She said she found out about the dance and said she wants to leave him because of how much he still loves my wife. I asked her what dance, and she said he confessed to slow dancing with her outside the venue during the reception. I was inside talking to guests, and I guess I didn't realize my wife slipped away. The girl said that she caught them slow dancing, and after they left the wedding they got into a big argument. Recently, he confessed to her that he still has feelings for my wife, and now they're breaking up. She also said something that really bothered me. You and I are just side characters in their love story. The two of them were meant for each other, and one day, some way or another, they'll end up back together. I just wanted to warn you before you got hurt. I thought she was being melodramatic. I confronted my wife later about this reveal, and she at first denied dancing with her ex at our wedding. Then finally, when I told her how I knew, she confessed. She said she just forgot it happened and said it was no big deal. I asked her if she still had feelings for him, and she answered, "Why do you even have to ask?" She never gave me a straight answer. I don't know if I'm making a big deal out of nothing. It just bothers me that my wife danced intimately with her ex-boyfriend, someone who was a large part of her life for many years, and still in love with her. She initially denied it ever happened. Any advice would be great. I didn't do it, I forgot it, it was no big deal. When she gives you 3 different stories for the same thing, you can be sure all of them are a lie. Your new wife sounds like she stepped into the marriage with only 1 foot. The dance was bad. The lie was even worse. The lie means she 100% meant to cover it up. I wouldn't trust that she isn't covering up more communications and actions with him. I agree. OP really needs to consider how much he's willing to pay to be with this woman. Because in the end, she'll get half child support and the ex-boyfriend who's been waiting for her. No way it wasn't a big deal to both of them. It is a big deal. If they had danced on a dance floor with other people also dancing, then it wouldn't be a big deal. The fact that they had a secret couples dance outside is a big problem and strongly indicates that they both still have feelings for each other. The fact your wife at first tried to lie about it and then claimed she forgot about it, which is yet another lie, and then refused to answer your question about having feelings for him is a big, big problem. His now ex-girlfriend is right. You and she are just placeholders until they get back together. And now that his girlfriend is dumping him, they'll be together sooner rather than later. And even if they don't, your wife will at least want to be with him. You deserve better, and I would 100% divorce over this. She is only settling for you while her heart belongs to him. I don't think they were just visiting each other. Hope I'm wrong, but she doesn't seem like someone you can trust. Also, why did you get married after 2 years of being together when she probably wasn't even over him in the first year of your relationship? You two started dating so fast. They dated until 21, and you two are getting married at 23? Bad decision, man. Get an annulment. So me, 27 male, and my ex-girlfriend, 28, broke up over 3 years ago. We weren't a good match and wanted to see other people. A few weeks after we broke up, she found out she was pregnant. She always wanted to be a mom, so she was ecstatic but also scared about being a single mom. Since we broke up, she hadn't seen that many guys and hadn't been in an actual relationship, so she came to me and told me she thinks I'm most likely to be the dad. I never had a strong opinion either way about having kids, but if it was my kid, I helped make it. So I told her that if it was mine, I would step up as a dad. So once we were able to get a test, we did. She was practically desperate that it came back as a match because I was the only guy who didn't mind being a dad. The other possible fathers said they weren't ready to be dads and would just sign over custody. It was a match. Fast forward to now, my little guy is now starting to talk. I can't really imagine my life without him. Our custody is a mutual 50-50, and we rotate events like Christmas and birthdays every year. Last year, I started seeing my current girlfriend, 28. She's wonderful and has a young son. The problem comes with the fact that my stepson's birthday falls when my ex has her son. They are surprisingly close, and my stepson wants his brother at his birthday, so I asked my ex if I could have our son for my stepson's birthday weekend. She got annoyed and told me no, it was her time with our son. I said she can have him for one of my weekends if she wants. She got even madder and told me that as his mother, she gets priority over his stepbrother. Since my girlfriend is my girlfriend and not my fiancée or wife, she doesn't consider my stepson and our son brothers. She then passively-aggressively reminded me to bring our son over to her this weekend because it was her week. I've never forgotten before, and then hung up. Apparently, she's been going around telling people that I'm trying to manipulate her into giving me more custody of our son, and I had some people go off on me. I tried explaining what actually happened, but most didn't want to hear it. One person did hear me out, and it was my ex's best friend. After I told her what happened, she went around and explained it to some of the people that were upset with me. Now everyone is upset with my ex. and now she's upset because now everyone is against her. She says she has no friends anymore. Her friends are upset with her, they haven't stopped being friends with her. I feel like I'm the idiot because I could have just left it alone. I'm not friends with any of her friends, so it wouldn't really have affected me, and it has caused her a lot of grief. So, am I the idiot? She's mad because she got caught while telling a lie, and it's not good that she was trying to defame you. You might have a problem with custody. Thank God for people like your ex's best friend. That said, if you decide to celebrate both of your kids' birthdays together, please make it a day for both of them, not just one. Had a post here just recently about something like that. Not the idiot, but just to make clear, I only voted not the idiot for her lying about you. She has a right not to give up her son, as much as you have a right to ask for a switch of dates. Also, she sounds kind of jealous, not gonna lie. Her lying is the only reason I'm voting for not the idiot here. Her wish to have her son on the agreed dates is fair enough, and while it's okay that you asked to change, it's also fine that she said no. I'm sorry, but this is wild. It's totally normal for divorced parents to swap time for important events. If the mom had a reason to want that time specifically, that would be one thing, but otherwise, it totally sucks to not agree to it. Why on earth would a mother want to not let her child go to what the child understands as their brother's birthday? Parenting should be about what's best for the child, not, it's my weekend. Everyone's the idiot here. That's not his brother, and as the mother, she has the right to correct you. You've been dating for a year. You don't know if this is permanent or not. Leave the sibling thing out of it until you're married. She shouldn't have lied over something so trivial after denying the request. That should have been it. So I have two daughters. One is deaf and one is hearing. They both go to a school which is down the street from our apartment that teaches sign language. It's not really a deaf school as they also allow hearing people. It's technically a public school, so even if my daughter wasn't deaf, we would still be zoned for it. But we did decide to live here before we adopted a deaf child so that all our kids, deaf or hearing, could go to school together. Also, I am a CODA, child of deaf adults, went to school for deaf studies, and am teacher of the deaf at a different school for the deaf in our city. Over lockdown, my daughters met a girl, Lily, in our building, who is also deaf but doesn't sign and has a cochlear implant. When I first met her, I automatically assumed she went to the ASL school since we lived on the same block. A few months ago, I met her parents and asked which teacher's class she was in. Her mum told me she sent her to an oral deaf school that doesn't allow sign language and is 20 minutes away because she hates the public schools around here. I thought maybe she didn't know that we were zoned for a sign language school, so I told her and she got mad and said teaching deaf children sign language is bad for them and will stunt their development. I tried to explain that I work with deaf kids and I don't think that's true, but she kept trying to explain it to me as if I had no clue what I was talking about. She also said that I'm a horrible person when she found out my deaf daughter doesn't have a cochlear implant. I tried to tell her I didn't want to explain my daughter's entire medical history, but she said I'm just making excuses for my bad parenting. Needless to say, we didn't have a good first impression, but our girls got along, so I figured I wouldn't punish her kid for her mom being annoying. One day, Lily was at our house, and she had picked up a few signs from playing with my daughters, and then her mum called me later and yelled at me for letting my daughter teach her to sign. I apologised and said I didn't think it was a huge deal, but I guess she did. Then I let my daughters go to their apartment. Apparently she wasn't letting my deaf daughter sign. Whenever she asked for something, Lily's mom would try to coach her into saying it, and my daughter does not have good speech, so she was really embarrassed. After that, I said they couldn't go to their house anymore, but Lily could still come over. But I guess Lily learned from her mom because the next time she was at our house, she was trying to make my deaf daughter speak. She kept doing it after we both asked her to stop, so I told my girls that I didn't think it was good to play with Lily anymore. Then her mum called me and yelled at me. She claimed I'm only doing this because I don't like that Lily uses cochlear implants. I tried to explain it has nothing to do with that, but she was just saying this is discrimination. Am I the idiot here? Should I let them play with Lily, and am I being unfair to her? Not the idiot. Ugh, ugh, and freaking ugh. No, you're not being unfair and you're not discriminating. That's what the child's mother is doing, and her child is starting to follow suit. Unless the child can allow your daughter the freedom to communicate in the way she's comfortable with and used to, you absolutely shouldn't let her come over anymore. I'm seriously saddened at the stuff that little girl is being taught. Not the idiot, but you need to reframe this, if only for your self-assurance. You're not refusing to let your daughter play with a girl who has cochlear implants. You're refusing to let your daughter play with a girl whose mother prohibits your daughter from communicating in sign language. The cochlear implant is entirely irrelevant. Not the idiot. Lily's mom is seriously ableist. You decided that Lily is now following her mother's lead and trying to shame your daughters into not signing. If Lily's mum could chill out and not try to force her choices on your daughters, I'm sure the kids could be good friends. But if Lily's mom can't respect the fact that your daughter's language is sign language, then there really is nothing much you can do. I, 30 female, wake up at a typical time for my job, between 6 and 7. I do my makeup, hair and get on my way for a half-an-hour drive to my office. In my opinion, it's a pretty typical morning routine. My husband, 28, is at home right now while he finishes school. In between studying and classes, he manages the apartment for us. Recently, he took the hard stance that breakfast should be a fresh, warm meal. For us, this is scrambled eggs, bacon and toast. He doesn't like all the preservatives and sodium in breakfast sandwiches or frozen meals. This would be great, but he has a tough time getting up in the morning. Sometimes he can't sleep at night and doesn't want to get up, and sometimes the bed is just too comfy, and I'm his alarm clock. Most days, regardless of when I yell for him, 6:50 or 7:50, he asks for 5 more minutes. There's been a few times when he doesn't even wake up. When this happens, I just leave him in bed and go to Starbucks. I don't have the time to fight with him or tell him I need him to keep to a schedule, and Starbucks is awake and ready to feed me. But that's an expensive habit to bank on if he has recurring sleeplessness or just can't get up in the morning. Recently, I asked if I could restock the fridge with some breakfast sandwiches. He got upset. Not mad, just hurt feelings. He asked if I had so little faith in him and that if I wanted breakfast sandwiches, it meant I didn't trust him to get up with me. I told him it had happened before, and I just wanted to save money on Starbucks on the days he couldn't get up, but it seemed to really get under his skin. I had to bite my tongue from telling him he could set the alarm if he was this dedicated to a warm meal every morning. We're okay now, just a little terse, but I can tell it really got to him. So, am I the idiot for not fighting my husband awake every morning? Not the idiot. He may just realize the level of childish he reached. Getting up in the morning is really one of the bare minimums. Needing a mummy wife to beg you awake is not okay at all. Seriously, it sounds like a routine I had with my son when he was a little kid. He's a grown man, for crying out loud. Does he expect you to pull the covers off of him too to extricate him from the bed? He can sleep in if he wants, but he won't even buy food for those days when he doesn't get up. It seems like some odd power play. Not the idiot. So take yourself out of the equation for a moment. Will he sleep through morning and afternoon unless someone like you, or perhaps his mommy, wakes him up? You're not his alarm clock or his mother. He needs to figure out how to get up. He doesn't get to demand to be woken up for that warm meal he so wants while putting zero effort to get himself out of bed. He should see a doctor for a physical checkup. If that doesn't help, a therapist for a mental checkup because something is wrong and you're acting like his morning butler at this point. With marriage came responsibility and you must adapt. It's called becoming an adult. If your husband can't seem to will himself to get up to make you breakfast, which he is insisting upon, then it's not your job to wake him. He's an adult. He has no right to be a sourpuss about you wanting to buy breakfast sandwiches. If it matters that much, he should set the alarm.